Hello and welcome, dear listeners. You're tuned in to Midnight Whispers AI01, and we're truly grateful for your presence tonight. Seriously, to every single one of you who's hit subscribe or left a comment, click that like button. We see you. We really thank you. We couldn't do this without you. We've got this goal, you see. We're aiming for 500 subscribers by the end of the month, and honestly, with your help, we think we can definitely get there. So, if you find yourself drawn in by what we talk about tonight, maybe consider joining the Whisper, become part of our community, and trust us on this one tonight's deep dive. It's there. Well, it's the kind that tends to linger, crawl under your skin a bit. So let us ask you this directly. Have you ever heard of the Skinwalkers? These aren't just campfire tales. They're stories that feel profoundly strange, almost primal. And they've somehow endured across generations, shrouded in all this secrecy, silence, and just deep-seated fear. So if you have a story like that tucked away, and maybe it's a family tale, something passed down, or maybe a weird encounter you had on some lonely road late at night, or even just that persistent, gut feeling you couldn't shake, that feeling of being watched while camping out in the desert, we genuinely want to hear about it. Please share it with us in the comments below. We do read every single one. And who knows, your truth, your experience, it might just resonate with someone else, might awaken something. Okay, so tonight on Midnight Whispers AI01, we're going deep. We're immersing ourselves in one of the most disturbing and frankly eerie legends from Native American folklore. A presence that's said to still echo, through those vast canyons in the Southwest, hiding out in the remote corners of reservations, and sometimes, on these rare, terrifying occasions, maybe even caught on camera. We are talking, of course, about skinwalkers. Right, so let's start at the beginning. What is a skinwalker? Or, maybe more accurately, as the Navajo people, the Dene, call them. The Yi-Naldushi.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes Yanagalashi.
Yanagalashi, okay. And the name itself, it translates to something pretty chilling, right?
It does. Literally something like jumping the skins or walking on skins.
Walking on skins.
Yeah. It's not just a metaphor. It gets right to the core, the sort of horrifying essence of their power. It suggests this really grotesque transformation. And what's really illuminating when you look into the origins, at least how it's shared by some Navajo sources, is that it wasn't always evil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the narrative suggests it started way back with these figures known as medicinal people.
Like healers, shamans.
Highly revered practitioners, yeah. Their job essentially involved traveling across these vast, really challenging landscapes very quickly.
Why the speed?
Well, their purpose was to perform these sacred bundle ceremonies. These were complex rituals, right? Specific objects, chants, all designed to restore balance, heal the sick, provide protection for families, the whole tribe. And you have to picture the sheer distances. The Navajo Nation's traditional lands, the 4 sacred mountains. That covers parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado. Huge area.
Right.
And sometimes these ceremonies needed to be completed within, say, 4 days across these massive distances for them to be effective.
Okay, so travel was a major hurdle.
Exactly. So the story goes, the spirit people taught these medicinal practitioners the knowledge of shapeshifting.
Ah, okay.
But not as, a dark art. It was meant as a gift, a practical tool, a necessary shortcut in a world without cars or planes, a benevolent thing originally.
Okay, but then things changed because the reputation now is anything but benevolent.
Right. And this is where it takes that really dark turn. As often happens, with great power or sacred knowledge, there's always that potential for it to be twisted, perverted.
Mm-hmm.
So some individuals, they weren't necessarily described as inherently evil from the start, but maybe susceptible, ambitious, they found out, or maybe were taught a different way, a quicker way.
To shapeshift.
Yes. A much faster but far more sinister path to mastering it.
And the cost. I have a bad feeling about
Yeah,
this.
it's horrific. To gain these powers, the shortcut, they had to commit an absolutely unspeakable act.
Which was?
The murder of someone incredibly close to them, someone they held dearest.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it could be a newborn child, a spouse, a parent, even a sibling.
That's monstrous.
It's portrayed as a literal deal with the devil. A pact sealed in blood and grief, often followed by these dark, elaborate ceremonies out in the wilderness somewhere.
So it's a complete corruption of the original purpose.
Exactly, a total inversion.
Yeah.
Taking something meant for healing and protection and twisting it into this source of terrible power gained through the worst possible act. And if you put this into a bit of historical context, There's this compelling belief, apparently dating back to the 19th century, that Ute shamans actually introduced a shape-shifting spirit as a deliberate curse.
A curse on who?
Not just anyone, specifically on aggressive Ute tribes. Tribes who had attacked peaceful Navajo communities, seized their lands, even sold Navajo people into slavery. Horrible stuff.
So, like, spiritual warfare.
Kind of, yeah. This curse, this spiritual retaliation, essentially made the stolen land unholy ground.
Wow.
It really shows how these legends are tangled up with real historical conflict, trauma, injustice, and this powerful sense of spiritual reckoning.
And it wasn't just internal tribal stuff.
No, there are also historical accounts, or at least beliefs, that shape-shifting abilities were used in wartime, not just against other tribes like the Ute or Apache, but also, disturbingly, against the U.S. cavalry during those periods of intense conflict.
Yeah, as a weapon.
As a weapon of terror, yeah. And resistance.
So, okay, beyond the origins, what is a skinwalker now, as people understand them today?
Fundamentally, they're seen as this malevolent type of witch or sorcerer. Beings who are said to be utterly without feelings, no empathy.
Right.
They've committed these terrible, unspeakable acts, that initial murder, to get their dark powers.
And the shape-shifting. We hear about wolves, owls, coyotes a lot. Is that it?
That's the popular image, yeah. Wolves, owls, ravens, coyotes. Those come up frequently. But the really unsettling part of the lore...
What's that?
...is that they're believed capable of transforming into any animal they choose.
Any animal. Like
what?
A deer, a bird, a mouse.
Potentially, yes. Think about that. Any creature you see out there, especially in remote areas, no matter how harmless it looks, it could be one of them.
That's perv.
Doubly unnerving. It gets worse. Some accounts don't even describe them as animals. They talk about seeing a shapeless black mass.
Shapeless. Like smoke or shadow.
Something like that. Something that seems to swallow light. Just this void, this darkness that absorbs everything around it. Makes you think about what they even are, They're sometimes described as feral people who practice strange seances.
Feral people implies something really non-human.
Yeah.
Primal. Detached from society, from morality.
Exactly. And central to their whole practice is this concept of skinwalker regalia.
Regalia. What does that mean?
Think about finding hidden chests or caches out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Inside, you find actual animal skins, wolf pelts, bear hides, things like that.
Okay.
And collections of antlers. But here's the really chilling detail.
Yeah.
These antlers, they're often reported to have dried drops of blood on them. And each drop supposedly signifies a life taken. A kill.
Oh, God.
And these caches also contain weapons, knives, clubs, whatever. It cements their violent nature. Tangible proof of their evil deeds, their dark rituals.
So much to take in already.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what do you believe? Have you ever had that feeling?
Yeah.
Being watched out in the wild somewhere, that prickle on the back of your neck? Let us know in the comments below. We'll be watching and listening. Okay, so let's move into their abilities, the really unnerving capabilities and the malevolent things they're said to do. We're not just talking folklore abstractly here, right?
Yeah.
These are things people claim to have witnessed, things that defy, well, everything we think is normal.
Right. Take their physical prowess, the speed. We hear these accounts constantly.
And like what specifically?
Imagine something sprinting alongside your car while you're doing, say, 60 miles per hour on a highway, keeping pace. Effortlessly.
That's impossible.
Physically, yes.
Right.
Or reports of them easily outrunning a vehicle that's accelerating away on some desolate road. Just impossible speed.
Mm-hmm.
And another aspect that comes up again and again is their apparent invulnerability.
Meaning?
There are these really unsettling examples, like a huge wolf-like creature everyone assumes it's a skinwalker being shot at, multiple times. And it's completely unfazed. Witnesses say the bullets hit, you can see the impact, but nothing. No sign of pain, no slowing down. It just keeps coming. Relentlessly.
So they operate outside normal physical laws.
It certainly seems that way in these accounts. It adds this terrifying layer, doesn't it? How do you stop something like that? It challenges our whole understanding of what's possible.
And it's not just about their own bodies, is it? They supposedly mess with the environment too.
Oh, absolutely. That's a common theme.
Yeah.
The ability to manipulate things around them.
Like technology.
Yeah. Reports constantly describe car radios just cutting out. Dead silence. Or car batteries dying suddenly, inexplicably, leaving people stranded, vulnerable, often in very isolated places.
Purposeful interference.
It seems like it. And then there are even stranger accounts, like them somehow magnetizing metal corrals.
Magnetizing metal? How?
No idea. It's just this display of inexplicable power, disrupting the normal world. Suggests they have mastery over forces we just don't understand. It's not just intimidation, it feels like direct physical interference meant to cause fear and helplessness. Which brings us to their ultimate goal, maybe. What are they trying to do?
Beyond just terrorizing people.
Right. It seems to go deeper into spiritual, psychological harm. They have this terrifying ability to witch people, to curse them.
Like actual curses, the voodoo style.
Something like that. A form of dark magic specifically designed to inflict suffering, illness, misfortune, even death, according to the lore.
And the grave robbing.
Yeah,
That's part of it, too.
Yes, they're notoriously called grave robbers, but it's not for valuables. They dig up human remains, bones, skin.
Why? What for?
The truly gruesome part. They're said to grind these remains into something called bone ash.
Bone ash.
Yeah, and they use this powder to paralyze victims while they sleep, sometimes apparently putting it right on their face.
Paralyze them.
Yes. And the belief is, if a protective ceremony or some kind of counter curse isn't performed very quickly, the victim succumbs to the curse, they die.
Wow. There was that one account, wasn't there? Someone paralyzed in a truck bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Described this overwhelming darkness, a buzzing sensation, and then seeing this shadowy hand place a white powder, later thought to be bone powder, right on their face.
That's invasive. Lethal. Attacks you at your core.
Yeah.
And the harassment tactics, they seem designed to maximize fear in isolated settings.
Definitely. You hear the same kinds of reports over and over, knocking on doors, but like rhythmically, insistently.
Banging on walls.
Peering through windows. Imagine being alone, maybe in a traditional hogan, miles from anyone, and hearing something running on your roof, scratching at your door in the dead of night.
Terrified.
And the dog whistles.
Oh yeah, what's that about? Not for hurting, I assume.
No. Far more sinister. These whistles can apparently signal their presence, making dogs go absolutely crazy, barking frantically.
Or
the opposite. They can use a whistle to silence dogs completely, allowing the skinwalker to approach a home, maybe even get inside, totally undetected.
And the core idea, they feed off fear.
That's what's said. Your terror isn't just a reaction, it actually empowers them, makes them stronger, more dangerous.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah.
The abilities, the methods.
Yeah.
It's purely malevolent. What do you believe? Have you ever experienced something like this? Felt that cold dread in the wilderness? Share your thoughts, your stories in the comments below. We'll be watching and listening. Now, the chilling thing is, this isn't just ancient history or, dusty folklore books. These modern echoes of ancient terror, they're vivid. Eyewitness accounts keep surfacing right from the heartland of these legends. The Navajo Nation, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado. These are contemporary encounters we're talking about.
Absolutely. And these specific sightings, they really bridge that gap between folklore and just deeply unsettling personal experience.
Give us an example.
Okay, there's one account from a Navajo person. Driving on the Arizona reservation late, like 2 a.m., they see an elderly woman walking alone on the highway. Seems odd, but okay. They turn onto a dirt road, and then they see the same woman again. Still walking, in the middle of nowhere, middle of the night.
That's creepy.
Gets weirder. As their car gets close to her, it just shuts down. Engine dies. Everything cuts out.
Oh, wow. Like the environmental manipulation we talked about.
Exactly. Then the woman deliberately walks across the road, turns, faces the car, and her face is painted solid black, and then she just vanishes into the darkness.
Gone.
Later, their father apparently explained that a couple known for practicing bad medicine lived between those two highways, and the woman sometimes walked that stretch.
Bad medicine. Another term for this kind of dark practice.
Often used that way, yes. But the details, the impossible speed or reappearance, the car dying, the black face paint, it screams something unnatural, preternatural.
Okay, that's deeply unsettling. What about the Route 491 story? That one always gets me.
Ah, yes, Route 491, formerly Route 666.
Can't make this stuff up.
Right. So this account comes from a U.S. Army soldier. Driving at night, sparse moonlight, he sees what he first thinks is maybe a roadside marker.
But it wasn't?
No. He quickly realizes it's a person, dressed in a poncho, long dark hair.
Okay.
As he drives past, his radio just cuts out. Dead air. Then the figure raises an arm like it's flagging him down.
What did he do?
His instincts kicked in, he floored it, sped past, and as soon as he passed, miraculously, the radio comes back on, everything in the car works again.
Weird.
Yeah.
But maybe just a coincidence.
Well, then he looks ahead, further down the road, and he sees the same man again.
No way.
Yes. And this time, the figure starts sprinting after his car.
Relentlessly.
Sprinting, keeping up. Apparently, he pushes the car faster and faster, glances in his side mirror, and he sees something impossible.
What?
It wasn't a man anymore, it had changed, transformed into some kind of animal, running easily alongside his speeding vehicle.
Oh my God, shape-shifting right there.
That's what it sounds like. He just kept driving until he couldn't see it anymore, and eventually the radio came back to normal. Later, he tells this story, and a native soldier in his unit hears it.
And knew what it was.
Immediately. Said, that was a skinwalker. The persistence, the speed, the transformation. Classic terrifying elements. And you have to think about the psychological impact, just the sheer dread these encounters cause.
Like that camping story from Kaibab National Forest, near the Grand Canyon.
Exactly. A couple sitting by their campfire, they start hearing these eerie sounds. Can't see anything when they shine their flashlights around.
Okay, just forest noises maybe?
Maybe at first, but then it changes. They hear what sounds distinctly like a woman whispering, but in a language they don't recognize. Foreign, unknown. Then the sound gets louder, more intense, and it transforms into this painful, drawn-out wailing sound, echoing through the trees.
That's terrifying.
They describe this overwhelming sense of dread, a chilling cold. And the instinct is often to go investigate, right? But that often means splitting up.
Which is supposedly what skinwalkers want you to do, isolate you.
Exactly. That isolation in the wilderness, combined with sounds shifting from weird whispers to agonizing cries, it creates this atmosphere of almost unbearable fear.
So what does all this suggest about skinwalkers today? Are they still active?
Well, some reports say maybe there are fewer active ones now than in the past, but stories like these, they absolutely persist, especially in those really rural, isolated parts of the Navajo Nation.
Places where neighbors are miles away.
Right. Maybe living in a traditional hogan. No running water, no electricity. It's in those deep, dark, silent nights that people still report hearing things. Something heavy walking on the roof, that scratching sound at the door. The isolation just amplifies the terror. And there's a grim statistic connected to this. The Navajo Nation, it's the largest reservation in North America, and it has a consistently high rate of missing persons reports.
High rate? Are you suggesting a link?
There's definitely speculation within the community. A chilling, persistent thought that some disappearances might be linked to skinwalker encounters. Maybe sacrifices or just victims.
Is this taken seriously by authorities?
It seems so. The Navajo Nation police actually have, or had, a special task force dedicated specifically to investigating supernatural phenomena.
Including skinwalkers.
Including skinwalker sightings, yeah, and even things like Bigfoot reports.
Wow, that level of official engagement says a lot. It's not just folklore to them, it's a potential safety issue. And then there's Skinwalker Mountain. What's that about?
Yeah. That's whispered about as this kind of ultimate gathering point. A place of immense dark power.
Like a headquarters.
Essentially, yes. Believed to be where skinwalkers hold meetings, coordinate, and most disturbingly, where they initiate new members into their wicked ways.
What's it supposed to look like?
Descriptions talk about this massive mountain structure with a huge open cave right in the center. But here's the thing. No visible entrances from the outside.
So how do they get in?
It said the cave houses ancient bones, animal skins, even ancient rock paintings depicting their rituals. But it's only accessible through a portal.
A portal?
A portal that only skinwalkers can open. It's their inner sanctum, a place of concentrated ancient evil, according to the legends.
Incredible stories, modern encounters, official investigations, even a supposed headquarters. What do you believe? That feeling of being watched. Could it be more than just nerves? Tell us your thoughts, your theories in the comments below. We'll be watching and listening. Okay, let's shift gears slightly, but stay in this realm of intense phenomena. When you talk about paranormal hotspots, one name always surfaces, doesn't it? Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, absolutely. It's become almost synonymous with high strangeness. Not just one type of phenomenon, but like everything happening in one place.
Cryptids, UFOs, poltergeist activity, the works.
Pretty much. It's this 512-acre property located in the Uinta Basin, northeastern Utah. And this area, it has a long history as a UFO hotspot.
How long?
We're talking reports going back to the late 1700s. Spanish explorers apparently documented seeing a ship in the sky hovering over their campfire at night.
1700s, wow.
And what's really compelling is how that history connects directly to the Skinwalker name, or at least the concept. Remember the Ute curse we talked about earlier?
The shamans cursing the land taken from the Navajo?
Exactly. There's a strong belief that this land, the land the ranch sits on, was part of that cursed area. The Ute shamans supposedly invoked a shape-shifting spirit, a walker on skin, as retaliation.
Against who?
Against aggressive Ute tribes who'd attacked peaceful Navajo, sold them into slavery, taken their best land and water sources. This curse essentially rendered the whole area unholy ground.
Setting the stage for centuries of weirdness.
Arguably, yes. So when Robert Bigelow bought the ranch in 1998...
The billionaire. Right. Big interest in UFOs.
That's him. He wasn't just buying land. He was buying into this legacy of terror, this deep enigma. He set up NIDS, the National Institute for Discovery Science.
To study it scientifically.
Exactly. And over about 7 or 8 years, they meticulously documented hundreds of incidents. The sheer volume, the persistence, the strangeness, it's hard to overstate.
So what kind of incidents are we talking about? You mentioned the range.
It's truly staggering. Let's start with the poltergeist stuff.
Yeah.
The trickster activity.
Like things moving on their own?
Yes. Food items sliding across tables, personal belongings vanishing from locked rooms, only to reappear somewhere else entirely.
Like what?
A hairbrush and towel disappear from a bathroom that's bolted shut. A really heavy post hole digger vanishes, then turns up 2 weeks later, somehow lodged 30 feet up in a tree.
That's not just random. That feels intentional, like a game.
Exactly, like something intelligent, mischievous, and maybe malevolent was deliberately messing with them, observing them, manipulating their reality. And beyond that, the ranch is infamous for UFOs and anomalous lights.
Just lights in the sky.
More than that, sightings of actual structured crafts and orbs of different colors.
Colors mean different things.
Apparently, white orbs seemed intelligently controlled, blue orbs. These reportedly caused intense, paralyzing fear in both animals and humans, described like glass with swirling blue liquid inside.
Blue orbs caused fear. What about others?
Then there were red orbs. These were seen deliberately stampeding cattle, driving them into a frenzy, causing panic and injury.
So not just passive lights. Interactive, often terrifying energy. With intelligence behind it.
That's certainly how it was perceived, yeah.
Okay, and then the animal mutilations. This is maybe the most disturbing part for many people.
It's deeply perplexing and gruesome. We're talking precise, surgical-like mutilations, often bloodless.
Of cattle.
Cattle, yes, but also cats, even dogs owned by the ranchers. Huge amounts of meat would vanish incredibly quickly.
How quickly?
One example. 75 pounds of flesh stripped from a calf in maybe 30 minutes, leaving behind no tracks, no blood, no sign of predators, no explanation.
Just gone.
Gone. And then there was that incident with the 4 prized bulls, each weighing a ton.
What happened to them?
They were found inexplicably locked inside a metal trailer. The corral they were in was somehow magnetized. The trailer door was still wired shut from the outside, but these massive animals were crammed inside.
How is that even possible?
Nobody knows. It completely defies conventional explanation. Points to some force way beyond our understanding. And this ties into the reports of cryptids and humanoids, doesn't it?
How so?
The Shermans, the family who owned it before Bigelow, they reported multiple encounters, including seeing a giant wolf.
A wolf?
A huge one. And crucially, it was impervious to bullets. They shot at it point blank, and it had no effect.
Sounds like the Skinwalker invulnerability story.
Exactly. It aligns chillingly. They also reported seeing a creature like a hyena, which attacked their horses, leaving deep claw marks.
And humanoid figures.
Yes, large, lurking figures seen outside windows, and even, most disturbingly, accounts of large, red-eyed alien beings that gunfire couldn't stop.
Alien beings. So
Yeah.
it blurs the lines. Cryptid, alien, Skinwalker. Maybe they're related. Or maybe different labels for the same weirdness.
That's the big question, isn't it? The phenomena are so diverse, they seem to overlap and intermingle in ways that challenge our neat categories.
And all this is happening amidst electromagnetic chaos, right?
Consistently. Investigators repeatedly measured high-intensity electromagnetic fields. Equipment malfunctioned constantly.
Like what?
Cameras, securely fastened to poles 30, 40 feet high, would be found ripped apart, like shredded by invisible forces.
Invisible forces.
Lights would die without warning. Vehicle batteries would drain completely, often in the exact same spots on the property.
Suggests something actively interfering, not just random glitches.
It really does, like an underlying energy field, or maybe something technological or supernatural actively preventing documentation, or maybe just existing on an energetic level we can barely detect, let alone understand, and the psychological toll. You mentioned the shamans.
Yeah, they were terrified, weren't they?
Profoundly. It wasn't just weird stuff happening, it was relentless terror. They got to the point where the whole family slept together on the floor in one room, overwhelmed by this existential dread that soaked into the place.
And the government got involved.
A-tip. Yes, the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. They allocated a reported $22 million for research at the ranch.
$22 million. That's serious money. Shows they saw potential national security implications, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yet even with that funding, even with Bigelow's NIDS team doing rigorous science, they ultimately closed down operations there.
Why?
They couldn't explain it. They documented relentlessly. But the core supernatural activity remained elusive. Scientific equipment failed constantly. Cameras got mysteriously vandalized. They couldn't get repeatable, concrete evidence. There was also this persistent sense of maybe higher government forces stepping in sometimes.
So, still a mystery.
Very much so. The current owner, Brandon Fugel, he's installed even more advanced monitoring gear, thermal, infrared, UV cameras, EMF detectors. The investigation continues, relentlessly trying to figure out what is really going on there.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
It's just layers upon layers of the unexplained. What do you believe is happening there? UFO, spirits, curses, something else entirely? Let us know your theories in the comments. We'll be watching and listening. Okay, from the famous ranch, let's travel conceptually to another location that's gained a similar, if maybe more localized reputation. Fort Churchill in Nevada. This place gets called Skinwalker Village online sometimes, right?
That's right. And its history is, wow, it's dark, really dark. It's steeped in that brutal era of American imperial colonialism.
Meaning?
Massacres of indigenous peoples happened in the region. The fort itself was established specifically to quell Native American resistance, to protect settler expansion routes. The ground itself feels soaked in conflict and historical trauma. And what's really compelling, much like the ranch, is how cultural belief ties into this history.
How so?
There's widespread speculation, a strong cultural narrative, that a skinwalker or some kind of shape-shifting protector spirit might have been deliberately conjured at Fort Churchill.
Conjured? By who? For what purpose?
Possibly by indigenous spiritual leaders. And the purpose, either to defend their ancestral lands from being taken over further, or maybe to seek spiritual revenge.
Revenge against the soldiers.
Against the soldiers stationed there, yeah. Those who are part of the system carrying out these atrocities against the local tribes, like the Paiute. It makes you think about how deep historical wounds can manifest, right? How trauma might become embedded in a place, maybe even attracting or creating supernatural phenomena.
And investigators have reported strange things there, haven't they?
Oh, yes. During various investigations, people have reported really unsettling incidents, like flashlights.
What about them?
Flashlights just falling off surfaces they were securely placed on, or turning on by themselves, randomly. Even while lightweight things right next to them, like paper, didn't move at all.
Like something unseen is interacting directly.
Exactly. Feels like an unseen force deliberately manipulating objects, demonstrating its presence in a very physical, unsettling way. And the spirit box sessions there, those yielded some really chilling results.
Spirit boxes. That's devices that scan radio frequencies, right?
Yeah.
Hoping spirits can use the white noise to speak.
That's the idea. And the words that came through at Fort Churchill were intense. A lot of really negative, disturbing words. Things like malicious, Ouija demon, revolted, supernatural disaster, lunatic, demon, poison, and the really ominous phrase, evil follows.
Just pure negativity.
A lot of it, yeah. But there were also messages that seemed more specific to the place, or maybe warning the investigators. Phrases like, something doesn't want us here. Sacred land. You are seen.
And didn't they ask directly about skinwalkers?
They did, and supposedly the box said abandoned station, and then when asked specifically, is it a skinwalker? The response was a clear yes.
Wow. Direct confirmation, seemingly.
It certainly seemed like deliberate communication, a potent warning, perhaps, about trespassing on hallowed, maybe dangerous ground.
And the timing of some things was uncanny, too, right?
Yeah.
The coyote story.
Oh, yeah, that was striking. Immediately after the investigators spoke, the indigenous name for Skinwalker, Yanaglashi, loud coyote howls just erupted nearby.
Had they been howling before?
Apparently not. No coyote sounds at all that night until that specific name was spoken. It felt like a direct response. Like saying the name really did get their attention right there in the darkness.
Creepy. What else did they experience?
They also reported hearing distinct shuffling sounds in the bushes around them, the sound of a stick breaking, like someone stepping on it, and even seeing eyes, disembodied eyes, watching them from the dark foliage. But then, things took a turn, didn't they? The interaction with the merchant spirit.
Right. Tell us about that. It shifted the perspective a bit.
It really did. Through the spirit box, they apparently communicated with an entity that identified itself as a merchant.
A merchant from the fort's era.
Claimed to be, yes. Said he died at the fort, was pushed to his death. But then he admitted something chilling.
What was that?
He admitted he had participated in killing indigenous people. And crucially, he said he felt no remorse for it.
No remorse.
And he even suggested that maybe his unatoned sins, his actions, were the reason he was trapped there, bound to the site of his crimes.
That adds a whole different layer, doesn't it? So how did that change how the investigators saw the place?
It led them to reconsider everything. Maybe not all the frightening stuff was purely malevolent skinwalker activity. Maybe some of it stemmed from something else.
Like what?
Like maybe a protective indigenous spirit, tied to the land, fiercely defending its stolen homeland, maybe seeking peace or justice for what happened there.
So not just evil, but maybe tragic.
Yeah.
Defensive.
Exactly. It shifts the narrative from pure horror to something more complex, a struggle against past injustice. It offers a more nuanced, respectful way to think about the energy of that place, and it really highlights how our own cultural background shapes how we interpret these things, you know?
How do you mean?
Well, think about the word demon coming through the spirit box when they asked about evil spirits.
Yeah.
The investigators considered maybe early Christian or Catholic settlers encountering a shape-shifting entity or some powerful, unfamiliar spiritual force.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe demon was just the closest word they had for it.
Because it didn't fit their worldview otherwise.
Right. They might not have understood the nuances of indigenous lore about shapeshifters or nature spirits, so they labeled it based on their own framework. It shows how powerful those cultural filters are when we face the unknown.
And did the atmosphere change after that realization?
Reportedly, yes. By the end of that investigation, the overall feeling shifted from terrifying and menacing to something calmer, more conversational almost. It really underscores how complex and culturally rich these encounters can be.
Fort Churchill. Another place where history, trauma, and the unexplained seem to converge. What do you believe is haunting that old fort? Protective spirits, trapped souls. Something else. Tell us your theories down below. We'll be watching and listening.
Okay, as we start to draw the shadows back a bit on this really unsettling deep dive, there's something absolutely crucial you need to understand. A core rule, really, within Navajo culture regarding skinwalkers, regarding the Yanaglushi or Yanagloshi.
It's an absolute unwavering taboo.
Against what?
Against speaking their name aloud.
Just saying the name is forbidden. Strongly advised against, yes. It's taken very, very seriously. And the reason behind it is profound. It's not just superstition.
What's the belief?
The belief is that simply uttering their true name, even if you're just curious or talking about them, it opens up that line of communication.
Opens a line. Like they can hear you.
Exactly. It's like they perk up their ears, they hear you, they might perceive it as an unconscious prayer or even a direct invitation.
And the consequence.
The chilling consequence, according to the culture. They might then come to your house to wish you, curse you, kill you, or inflict some other kind of terrible misfortune.
Wow. That shows incredible perceived power in just the spoken word and intention.
Absolutely. Deeply held folklore often carries that weight.
So, if the danger is that real, how do people protect themselves? Is there any defense?
Yes. While the threat is seen as very real, immediate even, there are those within the Navajo community who hold the knowledge, the spiritual strength to stand against them. Certain Navajo medicinal people, healers, sometimes described as warriors in a spiritual sense, they possess specific songs, prayers, sacred ceremonies passed down through generations.
Ceremonies to do what?
to go against these beings, to provide powerful protection for themselves, for others, against the Skinwalkers' curses, their malevolent intentions. It's deep, sacred, often very closely guarded knowledge. And on a more practical level, what precautions do people advise?
Good question.
Vigilance is key, always being aware, especially in areas where they're believed to roam. Leaving certain offerings is one traditional method, perhaps appeasement or warding.
Offerings, okay.
Anything else? Crucially, it's strongly advised never to leave personal items behind, especially things like hair.
Hair? Why hair?
Hair, fingernails, even sometimes clothing fibers. They're considered powerful personal conduits in many traditions. Skinwalkers are said to be able to find these items and use them to cast curses on a person, even long after you've left the area.
So the threat isn't just immediate confrontation, it's insidious, magical.
Exactly. It highlights that pervasive, deeply personal nature of the threat posed by their dark magic.
So, as we draw the shadows fully back around this chilling deep dive, we're left with one final, really unsettling question, aren't we? If these entities, if Skinwalkers, do truly exist, and if they really can wear the skin of others, blend in, move unseen among us, then how? How would you ever truly know if one was watching you?
Right now. Okay. Let's take a breath. We made it through that one.
Okay.
Another chapter exploring the strange, the unexplained, here on Midnight Whispers AI01. But hey, before we let you go into the night, maybe a small joke, try and lighten the mood, help you sleep, maybe. Ready. Why don't Skinwalkers ever get caught speeding?
Oh boy, why?
Because they always take the path less hoofed.
Yeah, all right. That was a bit of a beast of a pun. We'll stop now. Sorry about that. Seriously, though, if you found tonight's journey compelling, if it made you think or shiver, please help us grow. Subscribe to Midnight Whispers AI01. Leave us a comment, tell us your thoughts, your stories, your theories. Share the channel with anyone you think might appreciate this kind of deep dive. We're here, delving into the unknown every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And with your amazing support, we really hope to hit that 500 subscriber goal before the month is out. So from all of us here, thank you, truly. And always remember, truth is always out there. You just need to know where to look. Stay curious, stay alert, and never, ever stop seeking answers. You've been listening to a chilling deep dive from Milby, Midnight Whispers AI01. We'll see you again soon. Until then, maybe stay out of the woods for a bit. And if you hear your own voice calling to you from the dark, don't answer.